Hey, what's happening? This is your host Tinto, and welcome to another episode of The Feeling Station. And before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that got me coffees, starting with you with Rutendo Edith, and your comment there is Tinogara Tichikutendai. Thank you for making solo walks around the park bearable. You're welcome, Edith. And then, geez, man, this is a really big hitter. Big time was ever. I know this is not the first time you got me coffees. And man, you gave me a lot. And I just want to say thank you so much. And your comment is, keep up the good work, Tinto. Minister of Transport, the quotation and the yellow boop. I'm not going to say that in this episode. If you want to support the podcast in a similar way, you got two ways now. Head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feelingstation and give as your spirit leads. And remember, there's nothing too small to make the podcast you have grown to love continue to grow. And then secondly, you could order merch. I got amazing, fantastic TFS t-shirts for sale. Just come over to either the Twitter or Instagram DMs and we'll sort out the arrangements. Big shout out to all of those that have purchased from the US and Canada. You guys have received your t-shirts. And a big shout out to go to those who've purchased from Rwanda and from Kenya as well. Oh, you guys make me so proud. With that out of the way, let's get straight into this weekend's episode, continuation of Harare episodes. Peace.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Welcome to The Feeling Station, a podcast that touches on romantic, family, and friendship breakup stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give lessons learned from their experiences. I hope you find the story entertaining, but more importantly, meaningful, given the lessons that are behind today's story. Now, the podcast is popular for two main reasons. One, I do my best to keep you anonymous, right? So before we get into deep, I'm going to give you the name you're going to use for the duration of the episode to refer to yourself. And I'm still in the sunny country of Zimbabwe. My goodness, I wish you guys could see where I am. I swear down, this is the best venue I've done it. I'm outdoors, birds are chirping, the sun is kissing my face and my feet and everything. I know there's an occasional chicken that I heard earlier on going... Hopefully it doesn't make an appearance during this recording.
Oh, trust me, it will.
I can't even pretend and say, oh yeah, we're recording from the London studios and blah, blah. Fam, that chicken will correct me very fast. So the name that I'm using for you is from sunny Zimbabwe and it's Majita. And what that means in Shona is gratitude. Yeah. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for life.
Yeah?
Life. Just life.
Especially after COVID did the number on people last year and stuff, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
And what are you calling the guy that you're going to talk about on this episode?
His name is Hama.
Hama?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. What does that mean?
Hama is like a relative. Yes.
Were you guys having some incest or something? Why did you go for Hama? Why, out of all the names on the planet, did you go for a name that means relative?
Because to me, he was a relative because he was a partner that I actually thought was long-term.
Yeah.
And someone I put close to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out he wasn't.
No.
Hama really was he?
Hama wasn't Hama.
And the second reason why the podcast is doing great is there are real life lessons that people learn from the story that you're going to share today. So, what would you like people to learn and go away with after they listen to your story?
What I want people to learn is, firstly, being with a person for several years doesn't necessarily mean that that person is always going to be honest with you.
Ooh.
And you can't always trust a person just because you've known them for a long time.
Yeah. Deep. And the temptation is to trust them.
Yes.
Because you've known them for that long.
Exactly.
Got a second lesson?
Second one, always think of yourself first and put yourself first.
Hey, and that is near impossible when you're in a relationship with someone.
Exactly, because you always want to think of the other person first.
Mad!
But I think you should put yourself first, always.
I love those two lessons. So first one up is, if you've been with someone long term, it doesn't mean they're honest with you all the time. Lesson number two, always think of yourself first. So let's get into this, Majita. Where did you and Hama meet and why did you decide, you know what, I'm going to give you a shot?
Okay. Well, I met Hama through a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a friend's house and Hama happened to rock through with my friend's partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's exactly how we met.
So you saw Hama and did you think immediately, ooh?
No, actually, I didn't.
What did you think when you saw him first?
When I saw him, I was just like, oh, okay. It was just hi. And you know how it is. They decided, let's go out, have a drink.
Yeah.
Company like Goch. And yeah. So from there, he decided he wanted to, hang out a bit more. We exchanged numbers. He gave me a ring. We caught up later on during the week. We had a drink. We went for lunch. And that's how it started.
So, what point did you feel, I think I like me a bit of hammer?
You know how these guys play it. They always...
These are Harare boys.
Yes.
So I don't know how they play it. How do they play it?
These Harare boys can be smooth, man.
So he smooth operated you.
Smooth operated
Tell me how he
straight
came
out.
to you.
No, dude was just nice. He would come through, come to work, bring you lunch, pick you up after work, drop you off at home, the occasional just random chocolates at work, flowers, all that nonsense,
We call that
and you fall for it.
We call that marinating.
Exactly. I was so marinated. Like a chicken, like a bird that's just been put, with all the right spices, man.
So did he at some point then decide, hey, listen, Marita, I want this to be an item?
Yes, he didn't exactly put it out there as in lesbian item, but I think just from the way things were going, the more we saw more of each other and the more hanging out, it just became evident that, look, sparks are flying. Yeah, both ways.
I'm always very keen on asking that question. Because if I'm to ask you how long were you together for, what answer would you give me?
Wow, this was a very long relationship, trust me. I think we were together for a good 7 years.
And when did the clock start ticking?
Okay, clock started ticking roughly about a month after we actually met.
Now, within this month, was it all just, hi, how are you, blah, 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 or there was some hand-holding, there was some kissing, there was some fondling, there was some sex? Well, within that first month,
I think
before it became clear that, okay, there's something.
Yeah, within the first month, I think, let's say in the first week, it was just talks, chats, And then second week, we got into, regular dates, going out. Second, third week, we get into, hand-holding, the...
third week,
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
We're hand-holding, and then you get the occasional bike kiss, type of thing. And then... why I'm saying we can say it actually started within the after a month is because I think the sex happened after the first month. Yeah.
You said you think.
Yeah. That's why I say we actually started officially being an item after the first month.
I guess that's what gave you guys confirmation that, okay, this is going ahead, this is going somewhere.
Yes.
Because for a lot of people, it happens on the first night.
Yeah.
And when it's like that, sometimes it dies very quickly.
Yeah,
but
true.
it feels like there was a natural progression, pleasantries, hi,
Yes.
I'm Azita, I'm Hama, oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And then you then go for regular dates.
Dates.
And then off the back of that, because you guys are starting to feel stuff, you hold hands.
Yeah.
And then after that, okay, cool. So you guys are now an official item.
Yeah.
What did you like about him the most?
Oh, wow. What did I like the most? There's so many things, my guy. First of all, I like tall guys.
Okay.
So, height.
Yeah.
For me, that was it. And he was just a soft person. He was gentle. He was just nice. He had a good heart. And he was not that romantic, but he tried, Girls like the occasional surprise gift. And I used to get those.
You say he wasn't that romantic?
Yeah, not super.
I didn't know romance
Average.
had a measure, had a scale.
Oh, yes, it does.
So
There's guys that will go overboard.
So what would he do for you that was romantic?
Well, just the random, the out of the blue visits, the uncalled for flowers, the uncalled for chocolates, just...
So what would you have wanted him to do more for it to be more romantic? I'm just trying to understand.
How about fly me to Hawaii?
Hey. That takes money, Maji.
I know.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys got off to a really, really good start.
Yeah, it started off really well, I would say.
What's the most memorable thing about you two? What's the one thing you remember the most when you guys were in your honeymoon phase?
Right. The one thing that I actually appreciated the most about him is he used to cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love a bit of cooking myself.
Yeah, he used to cook for me. Like, I would actually come back from work and food is there.
That's nice, you know.
Yeah.
So how did that all change?
Well, I think with time, you know how it is. Guys, I think you relax once you see you've bagged a girl.
Just guys?
Yeah, just guys.
Women don't do the same?
No, we try. We put more effort. We really do.
Okay.
We definitely put more effort. But then with the guys, it's like,
Yeah.
I've got this one, so she's in my pocket.
So he bagged you and then you started feeling like, okay, he's putting less effort.
Well, it didn't happen like overnight, literally. But if you think about it, you know, he was really cool for the next, 2-3 years, I could say.
That's a long time, you know,
Yeah, it is.
for you to be cool. Because I know people, after 6 months, they can tell.
No, he was really cool for some time. He really was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think maybe this is why I come back and say that lesson that I was talking about. Just because you know a person for so long, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll always be honest, and it doesn't necessarily mean that their intentions are always pure. So
what started going wrong then?
well, okay, first of all, I think the one thing I didn't mention to you, this guy he wasn't a divorcee, he was on separation. Him and his wife were on separation. She had moved to South Africa. And they'd been apart for a good, I think 6 months before I met him. But then again, now when I think back to it, because of what happened after, I actually think whilst I actually started dating him, he actually hadn't finalized things off with his, ex-wife, so to speak.
That's what my next question was going to be, because a lot of men will come your way, especially if they're interested in someone.
Yeah.
And tell you, look, this is my situation. I'm in separation. But it's not very easy to prove.
Yeah, it's not.
So did you believe you were separated because she happened to be in South Africa and he was here?
I think that's what made me believe that. And also because, you know how it is, he would introduce you to his family. I met his kid, he's got a kid. And his brothers, you did the whole meet and greet with the tetes even, And even the tetes speak of her and they're like, she's gone, she's no longer in the picture.
Oh, I see.
And stuff like that. But then again, like I say, hey, family, guys, these tetes, my gosh, they're evil.
How though? Because it doesn't sound like they are not being truthful.
Well, they were being truthful to a certain extent. I think according to what he had told them, they were being truthful. But then he wasn't being totally honest with himself about his situation with his wife.
So he was painting a certain picture to everybody in the family. That wasn't the reality
That
on
wasn't
the
the
ground.
reality on the ground.
And so when they met you, it was no surprise.
To them, it wasn't.
Oh, mud.
To them, it was not a surprise at all. And everyone was so welcome.
Yeah.
Like, they all loved me. They were like, got yourself a good one, this one.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Let's ride with this one.
Okay. So, this guy separated and you guys are, getting into this whole thing, but then things are starting to go downhill. That's where we were.
Yeah.
So why was it important to mention that he was separated in this story?
The reason why I'm mentioning the separation is because what actually led to our actual breakup was he actually got back together with his wife. As we speak right now, they are together.
You're joking.
No.
And you guys
No lie.
And you guys were together for how long in total?
7 years.
So when did he tell you about being on separation? Within that first month we spoke about, or this is something you found out in year 3?
Do you know what? It was such a shock and a surprise to me. It dawned on me literally on the 11th hour. So I'll tell you this. This was last year. I think probably around October of last year. So guy had already been acting a bit shady. And apparently...
I don't want to miss the timeline.
Yeah.
Because we're at year 3.
Okay,
remember?
we've already moved past year 3. Year 3, 4, 5, things come and go. You work through things.
What sort of things come and go?
There's little hints. Okay, I think these are things that I say. One person, you tend to ignore certain things because you're comfortable in a certain relationship, and you've put yourself in a position where you trust this person 100%, and you tell yourself, no, he wouldn't do that.
What did you ignore?
Because you guys, you feel you've got that strong relationship because you share a lot of things, and you believe that he wouldn't do that to you.
So what did you ignore?
The signs, things that I ignored.
Give me one or two things.
Okay, one thing that I'll tell you that I totally ignored was a visit. The wife came and visited. I think it was in year 4. She came from SA. And when she did come, he didn't tell me. But then I later found out that she had come through. But he didn't bother to mention that, she came.
How did you find out she came?
Social media.
Social media?
Yeah.
Okay, go deeper.
Because I don't follow her, but then I've got a ghost account that follows her.
I don't like Coca-Cola, but I like a dark drink with a lot of sugar and it's fizzy. You like Coca-Cola.
Okay.
You were following her.
Yes, I did. Come on, you need to know. You need to know things about the person, about your person's eggs. Come on, we all do that.
For what benefit?
Just so you know.
I ain't got a freaking clue what my person's ex was like or is
I
about.
always do I always look. I always try and find out.
No idea.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where you live. But
and it adds zero value to my life.
My gosh, it added so much value for me. Well, this helped. This worked out in my favor anyway.
So
anyway, I found out because she posted she was in Zim, and yeah. And then I asked him, I was like, dude,
Yeah, but did he know that she was in Zim?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He did.
I don't want to be in his defense.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone I'm on separation with comes to Zim and my intention is not to see her.
But you do see each other, that's the thing.
Well, I'm talking about my intention. If my intention is not to see her, I'm unlikely to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't plan on seeing her. So what value is me telling you about my separated missus going to add to us?
What about you not having the intention of seeing her, but then you actually do? Don't you feel that you need to tell me that?
If I decide I am going to tell you, even if it was my intention,
mm-hmm.
If I decide, yes, I'm going to see her, even if it was my intention, yes, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So he decided to see her.
Yes, he did.
And didn't tell you.
And didn't tell me.
Mad.
Yeah. So that was one red flag.
So you picked up she was here and then you say, oh, she was here. Did he deny it?
The thing is, I knew that they did meet up. And I asked, I was like, did you see her? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay.
So he lied?
Yes.
How did you know they'd met?
Because someone told me that they were seen together.
Yo.
They actually sat and had lunch.
Ay. Harare.
It's too small, man. You guys, you get seen where you least expect.
Small. Okay, so they had lunch.
Yeah.
You asked him, he said no.
Mm.
What's the first thing that went through your mind when he said that? When he lied to you about that?
Okay, the thing is, he lied, but then after I told him that, look, I know that you guys met up. It's like, okay, fine, yes, I did. I'm like, so why did you lie in the first place? Like, look, I didn't think it relevant for me to tell you because we were just meeting up because I wanted us to finalize our issues for our separation and divorce.
Well, it is relevant because I'm sure you hearing that they want to finalize and meet, the stuff inspires confidence in what's going on between the two of you, right?
This is why I'm saying I ignored that. And, it was, now I only realize that it was a red flag. But then to me, it was like, okay, fine. He's ironing his shit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that red flag number one. Any other red flags during that time that you're like, I should have clocked onto that?
Well, at that time, this is like year 3, 4. No.
Okay.
At that time, none. No.
Year 4, 5?
Year
6?
4, 5, yes. Yeah, there were a lot of red flags there. Well, he started acting a bit different. He just doesn't pick up his phones at times. He's on random calls that you don't know who he's speaking to. If you ask him, he gets all defensive. And what I then later on found out as well is he had actually saved her number with someone else's name. So I would actually think he's talking to a particular person when he's actually not, and he's speaking to her.
I'm going to tell you something. And in different episodes, I drop bits and pieces of what happened in my own shit, right? This girl I was with saved a dude she was screwing as her cousin. Her first cousin.
Yeah.
So whenever the damn phone rings, if you see that cousin's name, you're going to be like, oh, you know,
Exactly.
XYZ's calling.
I would
And you don't
actually
think a
leave the room
damn
and
thing.
leave him to
Yeah.
talk.
Now, check for me, this cousin was female, but the person who's being hidden under that name is male.
Is male.
So on this one day, she's taking a shower. And in my head, I'm like, oh, you know, cousin is calling. Let me pick up and say hello to cousin. I haven't spoken to cousin in a while.
Yeah.
Yo, cousin, what up? Then they, yo, who's this? I'm like, what? What is going on here? So for me, whenever I see a masked name, I'm always like, oh shit.
I know.
So
That was
her
so
name
bad.
had been saved as somebody else.
Yes, it was actually saved as a relative's name, like a female relative anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, it used to be like, even if he steps out of the room to
It's
go
all
in,
right.
I was
He's
like,
going to talk to family.
exactly. So I would be like, he needs to go, he needs privacy to speak to, And she was an aunt, like, so you'd be like,
So how did you pick up it wasn't an aunt?
Well, how I picked it up eventually was, well, it wasn't so much as you who actually picked up the phone and answered it. I picked up on it the one time we were driving, and he had his phone connected to the Bluetooth. So the phone rang.
Oh, one of them ones.
The phone rang.
Yes.
And I think, you know how it is when you answer the phone and you think you've
cut.
no, not you've cut. You've deactivated Bluetooth and you haven't.
Right. Bing.
Exactly.
And then?
And then she's like, hello? And then, he's looking around in the county. Okay. What do I do now? And she's asking, Uripi. I'm thinking, huh? Uripi?
Like who asks that question? You're like, where are you?
Where are you? I know. And it's something that I would ask.
But there's intonation that it's in the voice.
Exactly.
Because anybody could say Uripi, where are you?
Yes.
But it's the way someone says it.
Yes,
That's like,
exactly. It's as if you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
So it had that tone to it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how I picked up on it. And then I was like, okay. So
But you kept quiet.
no, of course. No, I didn't say anything at the time.
But you clocked.
It ticked in my head and I was like, okay, this phone call, this is weird. Okay. Why would this person call and immediately say Uripi? And then he's also in a rush to, deactivate Bluetooth again and put the phone to his ear. And next thing, he didn't even go on with the conversation. He's like, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back.
You chose not to ask at that moment.
Yeah.
Why?
I think at this time, I already had my suspicions. And I think I also wanted to be sure of myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to know whether what I'm digging into, is this a real thing or is it not?
So this became an information gathering exercise.
Yes,
and,
something
and
like that.
started to collate some
I was
evidence.
doing my own PI shit.
Yeah, to build your case.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So I didn't immediately ask. I just waited to see, what else is going to crop up, what else is coming up, because things were already going south anyway. Because you're used to a person doing certain things at certain times. You have a sort of like a routine. That routine suddenly changes. And what I then found out is she had actually come back into Zim. I think this was like in year 6. Yeah, year 6. She had come back into Zim. And the funny thing is, I find this so weird because Hama would be like here at the house, okay, not 24/7, but then he would be here. He would be whining and dining with us. His family would come, would have dinner with them, would sit and chit-chat. And yet he's got this whole other life going on behind the scenes. You know, he's got things that he's doing that I don't know about, that his family doesn't know about. You know?
Mad.
So it was really it's I don't know. Up to now, I still try to understand how he managed to pull that off. Because even up until now, his own relatives still come back and speak to me, and they're like, you know what? Atizu, what got into Msoro Mfanawe? I don't know what got into this guy's head, but it's, to be honest, one of his aunts came to me and said, I think I
Oh, but what that basically means that we think that he was given some love potion.
Yes.
You know, for him to go back where he said he wouldn't go.
He would never go back.
I might have missed an important bit of information here. As far as his story was concerned, why were they separating?
Well, the separation was mostly because she left. Because she says, you're not good enough for me. You're not providing for me the way I want you to. So she left.
Was she... I'm asking questions that I probably shouldn't because you're not in the relationship.
Yeah.
Was she materialistic? Was this guy broke? Was this guy short on money?
Okay, this guy had, you know, he's one of those people where he had things going on for him for some time. Then you know how it is. Life is a circle.
Shit hits the fan.
Shit hits the fan, things start going south. So I think she was already used to this, you know, soft life, and everything is all happy-dappy. Everything is done for you, everything is catered for you. And all of a sudden, now you have to put more effort, you have to work, you have to, you know.
And she wasn't about that life.
And she wasn't about that life.
What about the vows that say in rich and in poor, in sickness and in health?
Oh, well, I guess those didn't apply to her.
Mad.
Because once things started going south, she left.
So in year 6, were things starting to look up for him again financially?
You know, I think this is why I also feel like I feel betrayed, because I actually helped him get himself out of his shit situation. Like, I helped him boost his business back into shape. And yeah, but then, you know, dude decided to do otherwise.
So year 6, she moves back to Zim. And how did you find this out? Same social media?
No, actually, this time it wasn't social media. It was actually one of the relatives who came and told me that, you know, that she's in town.
And you're like, oh.
I'm like, oh, no, I didn't know. I think actually she kept it under wraps on social media that I actually don't know.
Who you don't know?
Well, I think maybe not just me, but a couple of other people as well.
So did she know about you? Did she know you were in the picture?
Yes, actually she did.
How do you know she knew?
Because we spoke at some point.
Who's we?
Me and her.
What for?
Because he's the one who insisted that you guys need to speak.
For what? About what?
Because he says, I want her to know that you are the person in my life now.
Make it make sense.
I can't make it make sense. He's the only person who will be able to make that make sense.
But you said yes to it.
I just said yes. Well, it wasn't like a long conversation.
For what benefit for you? Bear in mind, right? You've been snooping on this woman.
Right? She doesn't know I'm snooping.
You know, she doesn't know, but you've been snooping, so you know about her life. If it was beneficial for you to actually know her in person, you'd have made your presence known.
Yeah.
On social media that, hey, you know, I'm Rita and I'm Hama's babe. Just wanted you to know.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe not so much to benefit, but I think it's a case of it was, okay, once I was thrown under the bus about it, but there was a bit of pressure from him as well and from his tete.
You don't strike me as a girl that succumbs to pressure.
Well, in this case, I think I did. You know, love makes you do crazy things.
So you were in that deep that you were prepared to succumb to speaking to another woman who is on separation still?
Yeah.
I mean, what was he hoping? You guys would become best friends?
Well, no, I don't know. Do you know, this is why I say, I think he was being very manipulative about the whole situation, about the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is why I then now realize, I only realized this much later, as in like towards the end, that he was playing at both of us for his own benefit. Like, he would come and tell me certain things and would come and do certain things to me about her and go back to her and say the reverse.
Right.
So literally he was trying to play both of us at the same time and try and make it seem as if he's with her only and make it seem like he's also with me only.
But because you're in so deep, you trusted it.
Yes.
You trusted what he was saying.
You know? Because, he would he went through the whole process of getting lawyers to settle the divorce because at some point she had refused. She said she didn't want to sign. And, he went through the whole process. And I was like, okay, fine. Dude is really serious. He wants to get this done and over. But she's the one who's, holding back.
So what did you gain from talking to her? Out of curiosity.
Nothing really, actually.
For future reference for
actually, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't ever do that. Don't get succumbed to ever speaking to the ex. It benefits nothing.
This
nothing
guy,
at all.
Yeah. Okay, so we're now over in year 6 where stuff is continuing to hit the fan.
Yeah,
and you're suspicious.
And there's other red flags that also come across. There's a time when I got a call from a random other chick that I don't even know. She calls and, she rambles on about stay away from my man. I'm like, huh? She's like, yes, I've heard about you. And he says he doesn't want to be with you anymore. So I don't know why you're still there. This is now when things are really going south. So I'm like, okay.
How did you deal with that? Did you present it to him?
Oh, yes, I did.
And what was his story?
What I actually did, because this person called me on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
I just added him to the call.
Oh. Just like that?
Just like that.
And he answered, he came on?
Yes, he did.
And how did that go?
That didn't go very well because, he dropped out of the call like in a couple of, not even in a minute.
In seconds.
Yeah.
Because it was like, shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, and, you ask him, you're like, so who's this? He's
so
like,
this is in year 6?
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's, don't worry about it. She's just some crazy person. Yeah, she's just rambling. She doesn't know what she's doing. I'm like, but how can you say she's talking all this stuff? She knows stuff about you that's true. And how can you say, Kuti, she's rambling and she's talking nonsense? She knows you,
That was a trigger for you to leave.
Yeah, that was a trigger.
But you stayed.
At that point, yes, I did.
Why?
Yeah, if you ask me that question right now, I'll answer it and tell you I was very stupid. I think that's when I say, when you're in love and you believe something is, meant to be, and you believe in a person for so long, you just, you take what they say, because you get the whole apologies. It was just one of those, it was a one-nighter, and she's just, she's just going on about this because she wants to get at you. I'm with you. I'm not going anyway. You get the whole sob story.
So he's apologized about not telling you that she came to Zim way back in year whatever.
Yeah, that was year 3.
Yeah, then he's also apologized for not telling you that they met for lunch.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, apologized about the Bluetooth phone call. Yeah. Now he's apologizing about this crazy woman. That's a lot of apologies.
Yeah.
You can only take so many apologies before something loses its value in being an apology.
Right. Let me give you what actually hit the fan and, shed a whole lot of light to this is last year he traveled. Okay, I think she was back in SA. And I don't know how, but she got my number. And she messaged me. She sent me a WhatsApp message. And she's like, hi, I need to speak to you woman to woman. I know we've had a chat before, but let's talk. What's your situation with Hama? What's your relationship status? At that point, I don't know why. I think also in my head, I was like, no, I'm not entertaining this. I ignored that message. I didn't respond to it. All I did was I took a screenshot, sent it back to him. And I was like, look, what is this? Because I didn't respond, I think she also triggered and got upset and she started sending, more messages. I didn't block her. I let her send all the messages she wanted to. And she was going on about Do you know that we're back together again? Did he tell you? I'm coming back. I'm coming back home. And when I do come back, you better be out of the picture because I'm going to come back and I'm back for good. You know? And she's like, she's always going, and she went on about whatever he told you, always take it with a pinch of salt. She's going on, And in my head, I'm thinking, okay.
And you're not replying to any of this?
Nothing. I didn't respond to any of the message. I just let her, And she started sending pictures. That's the other thing. Of them. Like recent ones, not like from, way back. Recent pictures.
And they were looking...
Him taking her to the airport when she's flying back to SA. Them, I don't know, outings, anywhere, lunch dates, all that crap. Loads and loads. She just, she was just throwing them in.
How did this make you feel, seeing all of this stuff?
I was angry. Very angry. I was so upset. I was devastated because I think I'd invested so much into this relationship. And for it just to come crumbling after I had worked so hard and put so much effort into it was like a blow, major blow. I didn't take it well at all. So anyway, he decides, okay, because I told you, I'm sending everything that she's sending to me, I'm sending it back to him. And what does he do? Anopengawi. She's mad.
Yikes.
That's his response.
So in the midst of all of this evidence that is proving to you that, bro, this is you.
Yes.
How does she become the mad one?
That's exactly what I'm saying to him.
Understand if pictures are going out and there's not a single trace of a hammer in them. But he's all over.
He's all over the show on those pictures.
Mad thing.
All over. All over.
So he says she's mad.
I'm like...
And you're like, what?
I'm like, you know what? I think the mad person in this whole situation is me.
Is you?
Yeah, I was like, I think it's me. Forever believing all of your crap.
What control did this guy have over you?
I don't know. When I seriously sit down and think about it, I don't know. I do not know. I don't. And the funny thing is, after all this shit happened, and look, I told myself, look, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I blocked, because she kept calling, she kept trying to message me. I eventually blocked her numbers, and because I was sick and tired of all the messages and all the things. I blocked her. I blocked him on all my social media, all my WhatsApp, all my everything.
So, the beginning of your relationship, he didn't say, I want you to be my chick. This is feeling like the end, and you've blocked him. You told him, I no longer want you to be my guy.
No, yes, I told him. I was like, we're done.
After he said she's mad, then you're like, hey, listen, I'm done.
I'm done with this. I'm not going to be part of this little roller coaster ride of yours, whatever it is you're trying to play at. I'm not doing this. I'm out. And then he still comes back, and he he'd call with different numbers or try and come through with other family members that he's got contacts for, and I'll be like, no, look, I can't do this, And he's like, no, you need to understand, I'm doing this for us. I'm like, doing what for us? What are you doing for us?
So
he still goes on with the notion, I'm still trying to get this. I'm trying to get this woman out of my life. I'm like, okay. How do you get a person out of your life?
By taking her to an airport and entertaining her. Like, make it make sense.
Exactly. And I was like, this is bullshit. You're talking utter nonsense. Did
you want to get married to this guy?
Yes, I did. I'd actually hoped that would happen.
Do you feel that had a huge part to play in the bullshit you took over the
7-year
period?
I think
it
so.
It was the hope of a marriage and the hope that this separation is actually going to go through.
Yes.
So you clung on to that.
Yes.
Is that a personal thing or that's a cultural thing? Because I know here and now, Zimbabwean culture is huge on marriage. And a woman is given worth and recognition and value if she's married.
Yeah.
Then she's given even more value
respect,
if
yeah.
she has a child or
Yes,
children.
Yes,
So
that's true.
if you're married and you don't have kids, you're not really rated that much.
Yes.
And then if you're not married and you don't have kids, you're even rated less.
Yeah, that's true.
So within this whole thing, where this guy was married with a child, did that play on you to say, I aspire for that? I want to be married too, and I want to have kids with this guy, so I'll stick around and make this happen to the best that I can.
Yes, I think that did play a big role as well because, you reach a certain, I don't know, I can't say maybe a point, certain age in your life where you tell yourself, look, I need to settle. I need, you want a partner, you want someone that you're just going to go gray and old with, And I think I'd reached that point where I was telling myself, look, settle down, And I was thinking, okay, maybe this is the person to settle down with because, look, it went smooth for a couple of years. But then I think another red flag, one thing I don't know why I didn't pay attention to this is whenever you date a person anything longer than a year or two, it never transpires into marriage.
Mud.
It does not.
Mud. That's a very bold statement, though.
It does not.
No?
I don't know. Look, I've read and I've seen people and I've heard people talking that most guys know whether they're in it or not within the first 6 months.
I don't know whether that's a statistic or that is just an opinion.
I don't know.
Because people will draw out the card. Hey, look at my friend. Within 3 months they were engaged, and within 6 months they were married. I know 4 people like that. Within 9 months, boom, it was a wrap. It was a deal. But I also know people who've dated for 10 years, and then they get married. I know about 2 years ago, I saw a couple that got married at 70.
Wow.
After they dated for 35 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but that's the only case that I know. I don't know of any other that are that long.
Wow.
But so you're saying by the end of year 2, you should have known that this guy is longing it and he's not really interested.
But he's not really interested in this. Because the talk was always there. He would always talk about it.
Did you know that you wanted to get married?
Yeah, he did. And he also said he wanted to. But then, when a person keeps talking about it, but then actually doesn't do anything about it, that should say something.
So how did you guys break up in the end then? You just like you said, when you found out that, you're saying she's married, you're like, I'm tired of your
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. I mean, because what actually really, 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 really gave me that boot to say, Marjita, get yourself out of this. He went to SA, and he went to, apparently he says he was going to, I don't know, for some strike a deal with a friend of his. When in actual fact, he was going to cohabit with her.
As in, wait a minute. Striking a deal sounds to me like flight on a Monday morning, back on Wednesday, deal has been struck.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
When did he come back?
He came back after a week and a half, 10 days.
So he was going out there just to go chill and spend time.
Yes.
And you know this how?
I know this how because she also started sending me pictures of them whilst they were there.
Ay.
And the reason then why I say is relatives, okay, like a guy's relatives are not to be trusted as well, is because he was there and they were there with one of his relatives. And I think that relative forgot that I'm on WhatsApp and we're contacts, and she was busy posting and they were all happy and they were playing nice. I'm like, huh?
Relatives, parents, very close people. can be red flags in their own right. I'll drop another gem from my previous past. One of my exes, the parent knew that there were two of us in the picture.
Ooh.
And would occasionally cover up for her if I needed stuff and I couldn't reach her. And she'd be like, "Oh no, give me 2 secs." Make a phone call, boom, and the result is there.
Okay.
In hindsight, eventually found out she knew very well that there's two of us.
Yeah.
Turns out there was stuff that she was happy with me about, that she wasn't happy about the other guy. And stuff about him that she was happy about that. She was getting the best of both worlds.
Wow.
And guess what the parent said? I won't say whether it's a mom or a dad. The parent goes, "You're getting the best of both worlds, girl.
Wow.
Ride the wave."
Wow.
So I resonate with that 1,001%. Because there's something in it for them to benefit.
But exactly.
You know, for my ex, it was about seeing a child being happy. Because they got the best of both worlds. So as long as my child is happy, even though the situation is irregular, it's cool.
Wow.
So maybe that's what was happening with these relatives.
Probably.
They had something they were obviously benefiting from that equation.
Yes, that's true. That's
so you saw
true.
these people together doing this stuff, and then you were like, "Aye."
And then I was like, no, you know what? This was it. That was like, Majita, wake up, smell the coffee.
Yeah.
And look, I think for me, it wasn't. I think he actually made that decision very easy.
Because he kept doing wahala.
Yes. So it wasn't something I had to really think hard about because it was wham bam there in your face. So, and at this point, in as much as you can try, as he tried to come and say all this nonsense about, I told you, he kept on going on about, "I'm doing this for us." I'm like, what?
He must have felt okay saying it though.
How can you feel okay saying that?
You must have been doing something to make him feel okay to say that.
How?
I don't know. If I say something that a close person to me won't take, I won't say it.
I don't know.
I won't say it. But if I know I can push a few buttons and those buttons won't hit an alarm, I'll push.
Well, this time whatever buttons he thought he was pushing weren't working.
Yeah. And they took you over the edge.
Yeah.
So how did you break up with him? Over the phone? In person?
Well, initially, I think it was over the phone. And then when he actually came back, it did come. And I was like, "No, dude, we're done. Don't even try this." And I was like, he tried to give his little explanations and, I'm sorting things out. I'll fix this. I'm like, "No, there's nothing to fix. Look, you've obviously made your choice. You've made your decision. You know what you're doing and you know what you want. This is what you want. I'm not what you want."
That must have been hard for you.
Well, it was because, look, I had invested so much time in this and I honestly thought it was something that was going to fly. And I had hoped and really, I think, well, like what you're saying, you look, when you're in a relationship, you look and hope that, it transpires into marriage, children, and all of that. And because it didn't, it was such a big blow, especially because of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, 7 years is not a joke.
Oh my goodness. 7 years is enough time for you to have sex with someone.
And have a kid that actually starts going to school.
Exactly. Have a child that starts going to school and actually goes to what, grade 2?
Yeah,
grade 3?
Grade 2, 3, yes.
That's not a joke.
It's not.
Because I have a 4-year-old turning 5 in a couple of days. I couldn't tell you how fast that time has been.
Exactly.
Even that whole process of getting him to where he is not even the number of years that you were in the relationship with this guy.
You see now. So I think what really hurt me the most was my time wasted and my efforts and everything that I ever did to help him through. Because, there's a time he really hit rock bottom. And he's one person I really helped out a lot.
Yeah.
And I would have thought he would be more grateful and more appreciative of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I don't know.
You're not cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And that's why it hurts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like you who go by the line, do to others as you would have them do to you.
Yes.
Feel like it's a universal rule.
It should be.
It really
is
isn't.
not. It is not.
And I guess that's why your second lesson is actually very, very important, because you say, always think of yourself first.
Yes.
Because what this guy was doing the whole damn time was thinking about himself first.
Yes.
There's a line I've read in a book that says people are pursuers of self-interest by default.
That's deep.
No matter what you do, by default, everybody thinks about themselves first, but then someone within the occasion is willing to sacrifice. And unfortunately, he was willing to sacrifice you.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yet you were sacrificing yourself for him.
But you know what? Out of all of this, one thing I'll say is I think since we broke up, a lot of things have changed. I've had doors opening for me in ways I've never. I think I was restricted because I thought I was in, a solid relationship with someone. And I think I didn't do certain things. I didn't, let myself out there as much as I should have or could have because of that.
Yeah.
Because so many things have changed ever since. I know it's only been a couple of months, but look, a lot of things have changed for me. So many things.
When did you guys break up?
We could say October of last year.
Mad.
Yeah, October
You're
of last
8 months in.
Yep. Yeah, so it's 8 months, yeah.
Let's talk about healing. On a scale of 1 to 5, how healed are you? 1, I'm still fucked. And 5, I'm honky-dory.
No, I can't say I'm honky-dory. I'm probably on... Maybe I'll put myself on a 4. Because I swear, had we had this probably 3-4 months ago...
It would be a different story altogether.
I would be weeping.
Yeah.
It would be tears. You would have tissues all here. But look, now it's something I can talk about. I can share with people about it.
And you talk about it very confidently as well.
So it's something I've put in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on. And I won't let it bring me down anymore. Because I was a bit of a mess for some time. But then look, I think I've gotten over it now.
So if a guy comes knocking on your door and he's on separation.
Hey! Okay.
You're not sailing that ship no more.
I am not. Hey,
so
bring proper divorce papers.
Has it tarnished your desire for marriage, or you still want to have it?
No, I'm done.
What do you mean?
I am not looking for marriage anymore. So not. I am not. I am now in a place where I am comfortable just having someone who's going to care for me, and I'm not looking for a long-term relationship with anyone who's expecting marriage, or anyone I don't expect anyone to say, look, we're in this and we're going to get married. No.
But if they do, at least you allow them to let them be themselves, but you manage your own expectations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Mad.
Hey. I will.
No, but you really look like you're in a good space, because you've said this so confidently. Your expression has been the same consistently. I didn't feel a dip where I was like, ooh, okay, maybe she's thinking about this guy again. So he's really gone, isn't he?
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's really gone. But look, the funny thing is, he still reaches out to people. He talks to people I know, and these people keep telling me, oh, I spoke to Hama, and Hama is like, don't worry. Me and Maria are going to get back together.
Yeah,
I'm like,
crazy.
hey, he's crazy. I keep telling them, let him run with that story, but it's not happening.
If I was hearing that sort of stuff, I'd be like, oh, that's nice.
No, I'm telling him, he can ride with that story all he wants, but look, it's not happening.
Definitely not happening.
It's not happening, never.
Well, thanks, man. I'll just play back the lessons from the episode for those who are listening to this. 2 main lessons came out. The first one being, if you've been with someone long term, it doesn't mean they're honest with you all the time. And this is very obvious from what we just read. And then always think of yourself first. You couldn't have said it any better. You've been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and I will catch you in next weekend's episode. Peace.
Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.
Kujidziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.